We are back. Three Amigos MMA. We are here. I am back live in London. This episode, we're going to recap last night's event and also the last couple of events that have been going on. Last few fight nights with a few big fight performances and permutations. And also just news around the world in MMA and what's been going on with a few fight announcements. And man, let's get cracking. Last night, UFC 221, down under in Perth, Australia. Romero, Rockhold. Let's go straight into Romero, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 48 seconds of the third round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero!
What was that about? What happened?
Fucking hell, mate. It was one hell of a night.
Yeah, man.
Romero looked explosive as ever. Luke Rockhold brought it to him. Great first round by Luke Rockhold, I thought. You know, he fucking had him with those leg kicks in the first round.
That's right.
You remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Those leg
I
kicks.
thought he had a solid
painful.
game plan there at the beginning. Like, it looked like it was working. But Romero was really saving his energy, I felt, throughout that
I
fight.
think he did that well.
That's what we were talking about. Was he saving the gas tank for the later rounds? You know.
Yeah. And it did prove that he was doing that, I think. You know, he came out second round, he suddenly woke up and started laying the smackdown.
Exploded straight away. Just came out like fucking Vitor Belfort against Vanderlei.
It was like he threw that big looping hook and then he started charging in at Luke Rockhold. And after that first encounter, he really shocked him. You know, Luke was there a bit against the cage, all shaken. And from that point onwards, it was a little bit downhill for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rockhold's like eyes just widened, and he was like, "Okay, like shit, like I've got to deal with this now."
Yeah. So yeah, at that point, you know, Romero just kept doing that to him, kept like laying off, saving his energy, pouncing on him, and eventually he just fucking knocked him down.
Destroyed him. Yeah, caught him off balance with that long left hook, and his face just smashed off the cage.
Yeah.
I mean,
And how similar was that knockout to the Bisping one as well?
Yeah.
You know, it was just flashbacks of that, you know, him falling on the fence.
Frozen on the
getting
ground,
hit.
just waiting for that follow-up shot that just killed him.
I get the feeling he felt this one more than against Bisping. I think he felt the full force, man. He made him go cross-eyed.
Yeah, he saw this coming, right?
I do have to say though, man, I know what you're saying about the first round of Rockhold, and he did look like he was being very patient and he was good tactical and he was kicking his leg brutally. But then in the second round, I looked at Rockhold. He looked tentative, man. He looked like he was scared of Romero's power, man.
Exactly.
After
After that first attack,
He was having flashbacks.
Yeah.
I can't let this go again. Like, you know, let me get back to my game plan. And he just couldn't get comfortable with it.
Yeah, you could see mentally he just lost a lot of confidence in that second round.
He stopped throwing shots.
And he didn't know how to get
no
back
combinations,
into
isn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't throw combinations.
No. He couldn't use that range anymore, and Yoel just so much pressure on him. It was really good to see. Exciting fight, man. What a fight.
Definitely. And as we were sitting here, I have to give a little shout out to our Bacardi red rum Cartafuego. We were drinking the Cuban taste.
Tops the night off.
Romero just put on a hell of a performance, man. I was so proud of him. He was so good because it looked like a mature performance for him, where he wasn't busting his load out all the time. He was conserving energy. He looked a little flat-footed, but I think he was just
saving it
in a comfortable position. I don't think he was scared of Rockhold at all, was he? Because he got no combinations off.
Yeah. It's just that leg kick. I mean, you saw him after the fight. He couldn't even walk.
That's it.
Yeah.
That did mess him up. So he had to maybe that did affect him in the first round.
Yeah.
He was kind of hiding it.
No, you're right. He limped out. Yeah.
He had to step it up and put it on Rockhold. He couldn't do that for 5 rounds.
Yeah. He was kind of ready for those leg kicks. He did check a few pretty well at the beginning, but it wasn't enough. You still take a beating on that leg, even if you do check them. Right? But yeah, he did really well to channel out that pain and just carry on fighting. And
definitely.
He really fucking smacked.
Yeah. I was saying, he looked really calm. Like, his body was dry. Like, he wasn't heavy breathing. Like, he was really just taking it easy. Like, saving, I think, his energy for the later rounds if he needed.
Yeah. He might have found his like optimal pace now. He might be like the most comfortable he's ever been in the octagon. Like how he's got.
And weird because he missed weight. You know, that was a big question mark. What was going on? How was he going to look after that? You know. But
he says he just didn't have enough time. You can't believe it. Didn't have enough time to lose the weight. It was a short fight announcement.
Really weird one for an interim belt, and he didn't make the weight.
Yeah, he's such a big guy though, isn't he? So muscular.
He is. And that left uppercut, shovel punch up against the cage as he's on the floor.
Yeah.
Wow. Clean as a whistle. We also had Curtis Blades defeating Mark Hunt, unanimous decision. Pretty solid from Blades. He looked very impressive. Actually, mainly manhandling Mark Hunt through a lot of that fight. Mark Hunt came out pretty strong in the first round. He did himself proud, I thought. He didn't look like a scrub. He didn't look washed up. He did well. But Curtis Blades managed to dominate. What was your take on it?
Yeah. After that first round, you know, Hunt rocked him a few times and went in for the kill. And really, Blades did really well to take that and smother, like, weather the storm. And then just turn to his wrestling. And once he realised that worked, once he got him down, it was like a death grip on top, just like smothering him.
Heavy
like,
pressure.
Putting his whole body on him. And Hunt just couldn't get back up after that, you know. Like he did fight back up later in the rounds a couple of times, but just didn't have it in him to like get the space and get back to a stand-up war like he needed.
It's so hard for Mark Hunt to get up off the ground, wasn't it? He could do it really easily next to the fence, but when he's in the middle of the octagon, he was too heavy, man. He's a big guy, and he's quite plump-shaped, but he's got that power. But cause he did a really good job in the first round. He is good at stopping takedowns, but Blades has got a really strong, solid takedown.
He's wrestling impressed.
It's above the average
for
UFC fighter. You know,
for
really solid. Like he was towards the end of the fight, he was just picking him up and slamming him down and tripping him up. And Mark Hunt was out of energy by the end. He looked like he was doing a good job in the first round of reserving it, but once Blades found his rhythm of taking him down, his confidence grew every minute of the fight.
On the floor. Just pounded him.
Yeah, man.
He was. Gave him a bit of a beating. And I have to say, that's the trimmest I've ever seen him look. Because Curtis Blades was a bit of a chubby fatty, to be fair. And he's really gotten into fantastic shape. So he looks like a threat. Like a real threat.
Yeah, it's done him a lot of good recently, getting into shape like that.
For sure. A couple Aussie fighters that we must mention. Tai Tuivasa. This guy is a beast. He KO'd Isaka in the first round.
French guy.
Yeah, French, the silverback. And that's now 7 KOs in a row, 7-0.
Wow.
Brutal KO, boys.
Those elbows up against the fence.
Vicious.
Swinging left and right. Like, it was unreal,
Yeah, he's one to look out for, man. Really exciting prospect for the division, man. And the silverback is a funny one to watch go down because he could take a fucking punch, man. He took a lot of hits, a lot of damage.
Got an iron head.
Yeah, man. Most people would have been down, you know, after the first one or two, man. But he took about 10, 20 and he was still ready.
And then he just collapsed on his face, like face planted, and the ref was like, "That is it."
That's it. Yeah, he fell face first into the fence, went down, and the ref said, "That's enough."
Yeah, just tossed him to the side. I'm done with you.
Nice. And he's a big guy, Tuivasa. He's quite a big fat guy. He's not like totally trim and in shape, but his hands and his agility, he's fast. He's actually quite fast for a guy. He moves quickly.
He's got the reactions, the quick speed reactions. Like once he's hurt someone, he's on top of them, and he's got these really good combos that polishes them off.
The way he mixed that elbow with the punches was super impressive.
Yeah, man.
And then also another Aussie, Jake Matthews, decision victory, hard fought fight where he came out looking pretty good against Jingalingi.
Yeah, man.
Did well.
This actually got fight of the night. This is a really fun one. Matthews was like really like digging it in at one point. They were going back and forth, and he was enjoying it. Like he knew he was in a good fight.
So it was good. These are the type of fights that you need to grow as an MMA fighter. Jingaling put up a good war battle, and Matthews proved himself. He came out strong.
Physically, they're both quite similar shaped and size, you know, but from like different countries with different styles. But Jake Matthews at home, he weren't going to lose that fight, man. He was doing really well in that fight. He was impressive, I thought.
Took care of business. And then the first fight of the main card, was nasty. We had Tyson Pedro, the Aussie, subbing Safarov with a filthy Kimura. Gentlemen, first round as well.
Lethal, man. That was really hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
They replayed it, and I couldn't watch the replays on that one, man.
It looked like he fucked his shoulder, right?
Yeah, man. He should have tapped way earlier, but he didn't. And his arm just looked like it popped out of the socket when he was walking away afterwards, man. He was holding it. It really made you cringe.
When he moved his leg around his head just to get that extra leverage.
Yeah.
Wrenched it that last time.
You could just see it. The back muscle kind of popping out with the shoulder at the back there. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. Fucking hell.
It was a filthy
Brutal,
Kimura.
man.
Yeah.
Amazing submission. Yeah.
That's a couple of hot Aussie prospects to look out for. If we go back to February 4th, last event, we had Machida versus Anders. Machida with a decision victory, unanimous.
Back in the win column.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, he looked alright. Looked okay. Not the best we've seen of him.
No.
We won't ever see the best of him again.
No, he's past it, isn't he? But it's good to see a legend win again. I thought, everyone loves Machida. He's a real fan favourite.
This is one of the people who, he changed the game, man. He's so important for the current evolution of MMA. Like, without Machida, there wouldn't be so many different kind of fighters we've got now.
Yeah, man.
The way they move and strike. He's an absolute legend.
He's the real-life Karate Man fighter, or Ryu of the UFC.
Yeah, definitely. And Eric Anders is a strong, young, hard-working wrestling type fighter. He's not an easy out. So Machida did well to come away with that one.
Yeah, man, he did really well.
Yeah. And in the co-main to that, Shevchenko absolutely destroyed, beat up the piss out of this Cachoeira woman in a flyweight debut, where the referee Yamasaki he sort of stole the limelight by just refusing to stop that fight. Yeah. She took the most insane beating, over 200 significant strikes compared to Cachoeira's 3.
Yeah.
And she put her in a crucifix, raining down elbows, punches, just absolutely messed her up, did whatever she wanted.
That was hard. Again, another one, so I keep saying this, but it was a hard one to watch again. The referees are doing a bit of a rough job these days, I think. They need to start stopping fights a little bit sooner.
Protecting the fighters,
If they want these fighters to last, they need to look out for their health a bit more, I think. Yeah. But I was literally watching the screen saying, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
I was there for
now
about
it's
a minute
enough.
saying that until they stopped the fight. So
it was so unnecessary. I just think, if a fighter's in that kind of daunting position, in a crucifix, can't move, clearly Shevchenko's got better wrestling skills and grappling skills. This girl's a fish out of water, and she's just getting elbows and head and punches to the face, taking licks. Can't be done. We've got to sort that out.
Unless it's a big title fight, it's there's no need to take that sort of punishment, is there?
No, not at all. But Shevchenko did her job. She looked fucking awesome. She looked a class above.
Can we just rewind to that Machida fight again and remember that he did call out Michael Bisping at the end of that?
Oh yeah, he did.
So what do you guys make of that? Is that a good fight?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's not like he's calling out anyone in the top 5 or the champs or anything, but I mean, Bisping, maybe he's always wanted that fight. They've both been around a long time.
Good last fight for Bisping.
That's it. He needs a retirement fight, isn't it? Machida, a legend.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'd like to see it.
Bisping wants to fight as many legends as possible and end his career that way, doesn't he? So, he's already done Anderson Silva, Vitor, Dan Henderson.
He's fought a who's who.
May as well.
That's true, that would be nice. And he wants to fight in London, isn't it? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, he wants one more, I think.
In London, the card.
Maybe. It might be too soon, though.
Too
March.
Next
too
month.
soon.
No way.
Yeah, he said he's going to weigh the options. There was talk of the Rashad fight recently. That wasn't good enough for him, it seems. But
no, I'd say Machida's a much bigger fight.
Step up, absolutely. Yeah, much more exciting, I'd say.
At least Machida won his last fight. Rashad hasn't won in God knows how long.
God knows,
Yeah.
Be a good one.
Would be a good one. I would like to see that one.
Well done, Machida. Hopefully, I fight you soon.
And also in that card, we had Thiago Santos, KO of Anthony Smith. That's 4 straight KOs from Maheta Santos, man. Brutal stuff. This guy's big on the come up.
Yeah, Santos, man, knocking everyone out, man. As if the middleweight division isn't stacked enough as it is. And you've got all these beasts like Jacare, Romero, Luke Rockhold, Whitaker.
Yeah, we're going to get in on that
and
in a
then
second.
Santos in the mix of it all, man, you know. And he's just knocking everyone out. It's just so exciting. And he's not doing it in a simple fashion either. He's doing spinning heel kicks.
That's it, man.
And everything.
That's it.
I'd love to see him fight someone like Romero or Luke Rockhold.
He's got to get a top fight now. He's got to get a high ranked fight.
He's got David Branch next, who's number 8.
Okay, David Branch. That should be exciting.
So yeah, he needs to get through that one, and then he's in the top mix. He'll
That's
be
it.
calling out Gastelum, Brunson, Weidman. Maybe.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, him and Brunson would be fun as well.
Yeah, he'll be a headliner fighter in no time. Mate.
Yeah.
Love watching him fight. Like really, can't wait to see him against top quality opposition.
That's it. He's so big, so powerful, but technical stuff he's whipping out. So he did another spinning heel kick on Anthony Smith. Fucking shin on the dome.
Yeah, he's finally got home for that kick, man, for sure.
And then that body shot with the kick and then raining down punches. Man, super excited about him. He's shit hot. And then on January 28th, we had Jacare versus Brunson, which was a very interesting fight in particular. Putting Ronaldo Souza, Jacare back right in the mix. It was a brutal KO in the first. Didn't waste any time.
No.
Looking back to his best, looking sharp again. Got serious knockout power now. We know Jacare. Brunson is no step over.
At all.
So really good for him after that Whitaker loss to get back on the horse.
Yeah.
And now he's in there now. Like, you know, he could potentially fight Rockhold again maybe. There's Weidman and Gastelum just underneath.
Yeah.
The middleweight division is looking like a little shark tank at the moment.
It's the most exciting of the minute, I'd say.
Jacare would comfortably fight any of those dudes, man. He's one of the scariest ones in there for me. Just because he's the complete package, he can knock out and submit like really viciously in any position.
His submission game is just elite of the elite. It's one of the best of all time in the UFC and MMA. It's the most incredible. Yeah. And his striking is on point, man. Technical power. I mean, he made light work of Derek Brunson, man. And Derek Brunson, a lot of people thought he was going to give him some serious problems. Yeah. And he just took care of him. So, yeah, right back in the mix, which is awesome. And quick little mention for Gregor Gillespie, who fought a little bit further down the card, knocking out Rinaldi in the first round. That's now 11-0, 4 straight wins in the UFC. And every time I've seen this guy fight, he's looked absolutely dominant. And I think he looks super exciting. He's got sick wrestling. Really, he mixes it up with his punches, ground and pound, clinch work. He just looks like one of these old school heart, blood, sweat and tears wrestler, innit? Who would just never give up. Like, reminds me of Matt Hughes, that kind of cut from that kind of cloth.
Kind of fighter, like classic.
Yeah.
You know.
Doesn't
really
let you
good,
breathe.
man. Yeah, he's got it all. Like lots of strikes, good at takedowns. He's well rounded, man. So real exciting up and coming prospects.
Absolutely. So we've done a little recap of the main sort of fights that have gone on and yesterday's event. Also, now that we've talked about a few things, Shevchenko, having won that fight, has called out the flyweight champion Nico Montano, fellow Mexican amiga. I'll be straight up honest. I don't know too much about this girl. I know she came from The Ultimate Fighter. Leo, you watched it because I didn't actually watch The Ultimate Fighter. How does this Nico Montana look in this division?
Impressive. I mean, for me, that Ultimate Fighter was a little bit light in terms of competition.
Okay.
To put it, you know, good fighters, but I wouldn't say they're ones elite fighters at the top of their game yet. You know, it's an Ultimate Fighter, and I know it was a new division. Sometimes they put good fighters in there, but this one was a little bit low caliber. It wasn't overly impressive, but she was one of those fighters that always made an upset, and she kept surprising everyone and getting really better and better as each fight went on.
She's got that Mexican grit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's got that heart like a Gastelum or someone who would just keep going for it and win.
Awesome.
So that's the thing against Shevchenko. I think she's a much more elite fighter than her, but she might rise up again and upset everyone all over again, and that's a big chance. But
interesting.
For me, I would say Shevchenko is a heavy favourite on this one.
Yeah. A little bit of a mess, this division. It's a new one. It's nice to see. It's like the fourth division now for the women's, which is good to see, because there is a big difference of 10 pounds for women. That's a much bigger sized woman. So it's good for someone like Shevchenko who can drop down. But the division doesn't even have a ranking system at the minute. I mean, what do you think about this flyweight division, what Shevchenko could do?
Yeah, I think she's really strong now at that weight. She was a bit short for strawweight.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's impressive, but yeah, we have to wait now for new fighters to come in and fill it up and give us fights to look forward to.
I do get the impression that UFC is a little bit disorganised at the moment. They keep throwing out these divisions, like the heavier women's divisions, the low ones, and they don't really have the numbers straight away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more of a league in there, you know, a real ranking section full of fighters.
Yeah, so let the division build naturally before.
Yeah, I do feel like they're rushing it out. They're throwing interim titles everywhere. They're making new divisions. It's like, you know, let's concentrate on what you've really got and make the most out of all of that first, and then expand out, you know, more naturally. This is kind of a bit forced, I think.
I see what you mean, yeah. I mean, could you even open a women's division up with a few fights before giving a belt out? Like, do you remember when they did the flyweight with Mighty Mouse and they did a little 4-way tournament to who would become champion?
Yeah.
And then at least someone earned it.
Yeah.
Rather than just having a one-off fight with fighters that we don't even know. They haven't proved themselves at a high level.
I guess that's what they did with the Ultimate Fighter. It was supposed to be like that. But Ultimate Fighter has always been looked at as one of those junior entry shows on the UFC. So it doesn't quite fit that scenario. They need to make a bigger thing about it when it is a title and actually get more views on it. Doing it as an Ultimate Fighter just doesn't do it justice. And
this division seems like, to me, it's going to be another cyborg division where it's just like, Shevchenko, go and show us how good you are. Let's whip all these girls out, because I don't see any competition really. I don't know who's going to be fighting that division.
Dana, you know, this was a division obviously that you hesitated to add for a long time. What finally changed? You said now's the right time.
I don't know. You know, the women's divisions are all doing good, so giving it a shot.
Do you feel like the women's game is finally catching up and we're getting the number of athletes you need to really have depth?
I do. I think that, you know, well, obviously in this division, I think you're going to see a lot of people from 15 and 35 jump to 25 too. So we're pretty confident that we're going to have a packed division.
Cyborg faces that problem as well. I mean, who's she fighting next?
This Kunitskaya, the Invicta bantamweight champion.
Okay. She's a legit bantamweight, yeah?
Yeah. And she's a big bantamweight.
Okay.
She's been like finding the weight cuts hard at that weight already. In her last fight, she weighed 154 pounds.
Shit.
She's basically a lightweight.
Yeah.
This 145-pound division should be good for her.
Okay.
She does look a bit slow though, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Looks a bit one-paced.
Fresh fish for Cyborg.
Yeah, again, like we said, there isn't enough fights in Cyborg's division. It's
Not at all.
They had one elite fighter, they gave her the belt, but now it's going to be a lot of fighters jumping up, or there's not really a set amount of women that are there ready to fight her. So
I was excited for Cyborg Nunes, man. Why isn't that going down?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that one.
That would be a good fight, no? That'd be a sick fight.
Great fight. That could be the best women's fight I could think of right now, would be that fight. So they should make it happen one way, shape or form.
Yeah, you think so?
It was almost like this fight, Cyborg Kunitskaya, was like thrown together last minute just because of Max Holloway pulling out for next week's fight.
Yeah.
They brought in Ortega to step in, which is a great replacement. But it's almost like they felt it needed a title fight still. And Cyborg obviously had healed up from the Holly Holm win. And they've just chucked this fight together as just a little bonus to sort of make up for that.
Which is good, absolutely. But no one can deny what it is. It's just a show to see Cyborg fuck some bitches up. Like, that's what it is at the minute, isn't it? It's nothing more than that.
The lamb being thrown into the slaughter.
That's it.
It doesn't look good for this girl.
But there ain't nothing wrong with that. I love seeing Cyborg fuck women up.
Yeah, and you never know. UFC is just that sport where anything can happen. If there is an upset one day, we'll fucking love it.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Any more fights announced? What's going on, boys?
Well, the big one we haven't spoke about.
Yes.
Coming off our last recap, we were saying, where are Miocic and DC going to go? What's the next likely fight? We've got it, boys. We've got the big fight at heavyweight.
Confirmed.
DC against Stipe, which is sick, by the way.
Stipe DC, that's a great fight too. That's a super fight. Yeah.
No, he's ready for you.
So let's talk about DC. That's a really interesting matchup.
Oh, he's super tough. You know, I mean, he's an Olympic medalist. He won the Strikeforce Grand Prix. I mean, the 205 heavyweight champ. I mean, the guy's an animal, dude. He's gonna be a tough fight, you know. But you know, unfortunately, I'm walking out with the belt still. I mean, I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. But you know, listen, it's gonna be a great fight. But I'm walking out still a champ.
You know, I'm gonna be 230, 235. That'll be about 10 pounds lighter than my opponent. The only thing that's going to change, I'm going to do a lot more weightlifting. And the meals that Tyler Minton feeds me are not going to be so sparse. I'm not going to be eating, hey, Tyler, can I have a little bit more? Hey, you remember that movie? Now I'm not going to have to be like Oliver Twist. I can just be like, hey, load that plate up, big boy. You're feeding the heavyweight.
That's good.
Insane, man.
Really interesting, yeah. Really can't wait for this one.
We just keep getting surprised with new super fights every month, man. It's really exciting time for UFC.
How do you feel about it? Like, obviously it's exciting. The fight's exciting. No one can deny that.
Yeah.
But I personally said that I didn't want that fight to happen.
Yeah.
For two reasons. I wanted Gustafsson Cormier, and also I want Kane to come back and fight for that title. Well, what happens now?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a big Kane fan as well, and I wanted to see that happen. I don't know. It's hard to say because we've been in debate whether Cormier would ever fight Kane, and it sounds like it would never happen. Like,
I think it wouldn't happen.
They wouldn't happen. So if DC wins that belt, what happens to that belt if he wins? It's just a bit of a gimmick again, you know, like GSP.
Or if he just walks away from it, it is. Yeah.
But I don't know. You'd think that DC is a real challenger in there. You know, he's beaten shitloads of heavyweights in the past.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
dismantled
them all. So he's got a really good chance of winning that fight. Although Stipe is an amazing fighter, so I think he's got a high chance of knocking him out as well.
Really hard to call.
Yeah,
I'd say Stipe's favourite personally. I think Stipe wins, but DC's definitely got a chance.
Yeah, if DC can take this down to the ground, then it's his game, I think. Yeah.
Stipe's good, man, at grappling.
Yeah.
He's not as good as DC, but he's good at MMA grappling. He's
no
good.
one gets a hold of Stipe. Yeah.
No, I ain't seen that. That's never happened.
So yeah, I'm not sure, man. It's a tough one to call on the rest of it, though, man. I want to see Kane come back and win that belt. He's got to come back eventually.
Exactly. Well, he's on the comeback trail. He should be fighting soon. I mean, do you think DC fights Cain Velasquez?
Well,
if he becomes
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Kane said he wants to get another fight before he fights for a title. Like,
sensible.
He's not expecting to get that shot.
That's sensible.
He needs to test himself.
The layoff.
It's been a couple of years now, hasn't it? Hasn't it been a couple of years?
At least,
it's been a while.
At least 2 years, yeah.
And like Stipe has beaten everyone else, Verdum, Overeem, and Ngannou.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Kane, I feel, would want to beat one of them before he challenges for the belt.
Cool.
So I think it's good. I like this fight with DC. I think it's the same in DC's division. I think he's beaten them all. Yeah, there's the Gustafsson rematch.
Yeah. But he has beaten them all.
But it's they both needed a real contender each. They both needed each other, I feel.
Okay.
And it's a great fight for the
big money fight for them. They probably haven't made too much money from box office pay-per-views of late, both fighters.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of just giving these fighters the fights that they want when they're ready for it, rather than prolonging things and waiting a few years till they're all old and they're happening too late. I'd rather see them in their prime or as close to their prime as possible and just fight.
Why not?
Yeah, as a spectacle. Yeah, for sure. Kane Overeem, could that be a fucking good fight?
Yeah.
Overeem versus Cain Velasquez as his comeback fight. That could be good.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys what you thought, but that's a great suggestion.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. I think, who else? Ngannou against Kane, would that be fun?
I don't think Ngannou would think twice, man. He's already just got bum raped by Stipe for 5 rounds. I don't think he wants the same.
Well, I think he wants the high competition, though, to get back in the mix, surely.
I think he needs a longer training camp before he gets in there with Kane. And we've touched upon the middleweight division a little bit, but I mean, let's go into it with a bit more depth, man. There's so many exciting fights to make there now. I mean, Dana White's now confirmed, right? Romero's got the title shot with Whittaker.
Whittaker, yeah.
Nice.
Just waiting for Whittaker to heal up.
Yeah.
And that is the fight to make now, isn't it? Romero is the clear #1 contender. So.
Definitely in my eyes. Any rumours of when that'll go down? When are they thinking?
No.
They don't know when Whittaker's getting better, no?
Nah. Still recovering from this abscess in his stomach. So, yeah. He's had a crazy run of things, like recently with his hamstring. Said he got chicken pox as well. Like, he's just problem after problem at the moment.
Just in the wars, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, that's the fight to make when they come back.
Which is sick. And then what goes down with Rockhold, man? I mean, he must be absolutely devastated.
Time off, isn't it?
Yeah.
He thought he was untouchable, innit? The man thought he was untouchable, and now highly skilled, great fighter, obviously. But what's he got to do now?
Yeah, I think that's a hard knockout to recover from because it was such a big one.
Brutal.
Really brutal one. Those effect fighters, man. So I don't know, he needs a good little comeback fight eventually, maybe give himself a good 6 months off at least, you know, and then come back with someone who's a little bit more in like 3rd, 4th rank, I'd say, and then try and aim for a title again. But he's going to need a couple of wins now to get back in the mix. They're going to have to be good ones.
Yeah. It's interesting because if Whittaker beats Romero, I think Rockhold would be in line to get that fight against Whittaker because he was originally scheduled to do it.
Yeah. That's a decent fight.
Yeah, he's already beaten Weidman. Romero's beaten Weidman. Weidman beat Gastelum. Gastelum's on the come up. So
they're talking about Weidman Jacare now.
Okay, nice.
That's like obviously while Romero fights for the title.
Okay, cool.
So I reckon it'd be the winner of that would be next in line, like, and then maybe
Gastelum Rockhold.
Rockhold can fight Gastelum, yeah.
Yeah,
some good fights to be made there.
Bisping Rockhold 3.
Be a good one. I don't think Bisping should do that.
Cool out Rockhold.
That's enough.
Finish you off.
He should end it on a win. That's enough.
So yeah, loads of good fights coming up. As usual, UFC's just cracking them out. Perth, I think it went down a treat. It was a good solid fight card. The fans were great.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Ross Pearson won.
Ross Pearson won,
Oh
our
my
boy.
God,
That's
he's
right.
back.
Yeah, he actually looked good as well.
Yeah, really good card, man. Not many decisions. It was lots of submissions, lots of knockouts all night.
Yeah,
easy to stay up for. We had a good time.
Definitely, we had a great time, and we keep on chugging. So yeah, make sure you tune into our next podcast where we'll be talking about more spectacular events and news to follow for UFC 222.
Yeah, man.
Take care. Peace.
For more podcasts, subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube at 3 Amigos MMA and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.